With Halloween coming up, are you wondering what types of healthy candy are good for you and the kiddies? Well, you may be in for a big surprise. Stay tuned today. We're talking about candy. Welcome to The Healthy View. I'm Andrea Beeman, and I'm here with my fit and fabulous co-hosts, Lisa Lutan and Michelle Leota. We are expert health coaches who've collectively helped thousands of people around the world get happy and healthy while staying sane and having fun. And today, we're talking about healthy candy. Is it a real thing, or is it an oxymoron? Lisa, what do you got for us, sugar?
Well, I took to the dictionary for this one, and the definition of candy is a sweet food made with sugar or syrup combined with fruit, chocolate, or nuts. So to me, that's a treat and by no means healthy, because I don't believe that anything with sugar or syrup is healthy. But that doesn't mean I'm trying to say that you should never have candy. I love dark chocolate and I adore those little fancy chocolates like with the truffles and the stuff inside. But I don't kid myself that it's healthy. You know, I know it's a treat, and when I eat it, I'm very appreciative of it for what it is. And I think it's okay to have treats once in a while or sometimes if you're eating healthy most of the time. Now, I have experimented making my own chocolate with, raw cacao and coconut oil and all that stuff. And my stuff comes out horrible. It always tastes really awful because I'm trying not to use the sweeteners and all the stuff that they say. But I still eat a lot of it anyway because I'm like, yum, with the peanut butter and this and that. And I have fun with it. It's good. But the truth is, when I'm eating all that, I'm not eating things that are actually giving me good vitamins and minerals and nutrition in my body. And so I think that's something just to keep in mind whenever you're eating something that is a treat, whether it's candy or not, you're replacing other food that could actually be beneficial for you. Now, with Halloween coming up, I just want to throw an idea out there with all your little trick-or-treaters coming. Maybe this year offer them a little bag of popcorn or a box of crayons or something like that, because face it, kids are still going to get too much candy, way more than they can eat or way more than they should eat. And then they're going to take all the leftovers and then they're going to donate it to some organization. And those people are going to eat way more candy, or they're going to send it to soldiers who really don't need to have like sugar, crazed feelings either. So let's just kind of like minimize the Halloween load just a little bit and think creatively this year. Just some food for thought.
I'm glad you brought that up, Lisa. I die when I see this whole, we're going to donate the candy to the soldiers. Soldiers do not need candy. They probably need some sleep. They probably need some good protein. They need a lot of things, a hug. They do not need our crappy ass candy. So I got a whole spiel about Halloween. Don't even get me started here. I agree with you 100%. Candy is candy, regardless of if it's like healthier or not. However, candy can get really, really bad. Like the hard stuff is pretty hard. So I do make a whole spread of candy for Halloween for my kids at my house. And the reason is because I can make it with real food ingredients that at least has some healthy fats, some protein. Sometimes I even get some fiber in there. And when you have those three things, the sugar is not hitting your bloodstream quite as hard and fast, right? It's getting a little bit of a slower entry. It's going to smooth things out a little bit. And you start to feel full after a while. Like, did you ever have like a paleo muffin or some sort of paleo treat or whatever? It can still be sweet, but because it's made with like almonds or a lot of coconut oil, like you start to feel full. And that's very different than eating Skittles. You could eat like 20 pounds of Skittles and you still don't feel full. You feel pretty crazy, but you don't feel full. So my game plan is to let the kiddos eat pretty much as much candy as they want, as long as it's something that I made on that day anyway. And I only do this once a year. So it's like a big treat. Mom's making the candy. So I'll tell you what I make. And Lisa, I'm gotta tell you, you gotta up your game because this stuff can be so good.
Tell me.
I honestly think it tastes better. Like, so for example, I make homemade Reese's cups. Reese's were like always my favorite candy growing up. Love it, love it, love it. I recently like tasted one, like maybe last Halloween, my kids got one and I was like, I'm just gonna like take a bite of this Reese's because I haven't had one in maybe like 15 years. And I took a bite and I was like, bleh, what is this garbage? The one I make, so much better. I make it with raw cacao. I make it with coconut oil. I make it with raw honey, all real food ingredients. And the filling is, you know, peanut butter. I don't know what they actually put inside the Reese's, but that's not really actually food at all. When you use real food, you do have to sweeten it enough or else the cacao is too bitter. It's delicious. So
will you post the recipe for us?
Yeah, I got it somewhere. I got to find all my Halloween stuff somewhere. I got those. Then I make gummy candies to replace, like, you know, the gummy worms and the gummy bears. And I make it with really good quality gelatin from Vital Proteins. I use raw honey again. I use actual berries. Just blend those suckers up for some liquid. And I even have molds for these things that I bought off Amazon that are in the shape of like little skulls or like little black cats, you know, so it's all like Halloween themed. And then last year, or maybe 2 years ago, I started making candied apples, which you can make instead of using caramel. You can make a paste with dates. I forget what else goes in there, maybe a little vanilla, and you just spread it on the apple, refrigerate it, but you know, then you roll it in the nuts or cacao nibs or coconut or whatever it is, and stick a, you know, you put the stick in it. It's delicious. They look gorgeous out on the table. It's very, very festive. So there's so many things I can make, and I'm like, here you go, kids, have at it. So that's been working. My son is 8 this year. My little guy's 5. So I got 8 years that this has been working. I don't know how many more years I have left, but wish me luck.
Good luck. It's awesome.
And then the other thing, little mom trick for all the moms out there, anybody with children. Since my son was 2, so his first trick-or-treating year, I think when he was 2, like, you know, we kind of walked around, and I just told him, because as a parent, you get to introduce how the world works to your children, which is a wonderful thing. So if you have forethought, this helps if you do it when they are very young. I just told him that, hey, this is Halloween, and what that means is that we go around, and isn't this great? We collect these little treats from everybody's house, and the more you get, the bigger a bag full you get. And then, did you know, the toy store lets you trade in that bag of candy for the biggest toy, anything you want. And he was like, oh, really? I love Halloween. Let's do it. And this is sort of what's happened. It's become our big holiday, you know, more so than birthday or Christmas. This is when, you know, I break out the credit card for the big toy. Although honestly, kids don't know. They never took me up on like the $500, you know, little Hot Wheel car that you drive around. They're still looking at a $25 Transformer. But in any case, they feel like they can get anything they want. So when I check out at the store, I just sort of slide the credit card to the cashier quietly while I hand them the candy like this. And I'm like, thank you so much for helping us trade in our Halloween candy for a toy. And they give me the weirdest look, ring it up, and almost invariably they try to give it back to me, the whole bag of candy. And I'm just like, oh, no, you know, you keep that. And I'll just kind of whisper, stick it in the trash. Because honestly, in my opinion, that's where ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, food dyes, that belong in the trash. So there it goes, or maybe they take it home and eat it. I don't care, but that's how I get it out of my house.
It's so smart. That is so smart. So as we kind of wrap things up here, there's actually no such thing as healthy candy, right? This gave us a great definition of what candy really is. And with that in mind, candy is candy. Whether it's made with beet sugar, or cane sugar, or rice syrup, or barley malt, or maple syrup, or whatever it is, it's still in large quantities is going to rot your teeth, spike your blood sugar, contribute to diabetes, and oftentimes it'll give you a damn headache, especially if you eat too much of it. So you just have to understand and know what you're dealing with, right? So that's where it's up to the parents to like met out. Like what Michelle does, she just gives the whole bag away to somebody else, right? But you got to hide the candy. Don't let them have it all. So once you understand what you're dealing with, then you know, okay, it's just sugar. Candy is candy. And I remember when I was, you know, living in the oblivion world, when I was macrobiotic 25 years ago, and we used to have rice syrup and barley malt. And we used to use the rice syrup and the barley malt as our sweeteners to make candy and sweet treats. like Brown Rice Krispie treats, but it's still sugar. But we were, I don't know, trying to trick ourselves. Is that what happens with all the it's not called sugar. It's still sugar. So it's still highly processed. And just like there's a difference between a beet and beet sugar, there's a difference between brown rice and rice syrup. So we can't kid ourselves. It's all candy. And the health food markets are stacked with candy masquerading as health bars. You see them, you walk in, that's all candy. Don't kid yourself. Those are candy bars. It may not be a marathon or Reese's peanut butter cup, but it's still candy. So as the lady said, we have Halloween coming up. So what can we give the kiddies? Well, first, you probably want to go trick-or-treating at Michelle's house.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of fun stuff. But if you don't have time for yourself to make a caramel apple like Michelle, and if you decide to give a plain apple to the kiddies or a crayon like what Lisa wanted to give, they're going to throw rotten eggs at your house. They're going to wake up. Toilet paper is going to be everywhere. So it's not really an option. Just give them the crack. That's what they want. The little crackheads, that's what they want. So you have to keep in mind that there are going to be millions of little sugar addicts walking the streets, carrying these bags filled with crack, demanding that you give them a treat. So just give them a little treat. But the parents, don't let them eat it all in one sitting, or do what Michelle did and just give it away and buy them a new car, anything. So you have to be able to do that for your kids, because they don't know any better, right? You're guiding them. They don't know any better. They're not informed because they don't watch The Healthy View like you're watching right now or listening to. So even better, you follow Michelle's advice. You trade in their candy for toys, and let's all go trick-or-treating at Michelle's house. Yay!
I have a question, though. If they say trick or treat, why don't we ever give a trick? Like juggling, or magic trick? I wonder how that would go over. Better than a crayon?
I found these little bags of flaxseed at the grocery store.
Oh, my God.
Now, that would be a trick.
That would be a trick. Yeah.
I can buy them. Don't worry. I give out like spider rings and vampire teeth.
Oh, that's fun.
That's good. I don't even
fun.
get trick-or-treaters. I might get one trick-or-treater. So I just turn off the lights and pretend I'm not home now.
That's another way to go.
Well, everyone, happy Halloween, and thanks for joining us today. We're so happy to be on track with you, and please let us know what you'd like to hear about. And if you'd like to leave us a rating on iTunes, that would be awesome too. We're also happy to drop you a quick email each time a new episode is released. Just sign up at healthyviewshow.com. Have a great holiday season. Take care.